Yo, what up, Milan? Yo, yo. What's happening? Guys, happy to be back. Feels a little strange, to be honest with you, but kind of getting back into the groove. I imagine it'll take me a couple more days to fully feel back at home. Damn. I'm echoing. Hold on, let me see if I put some headphones in, if that'll help. Hold on. Is that better? Let me know if that's better there, Adam. I'm gonna crack a beer here, boys and girls. Am I echoing for everyone? Is this a thing? Anyone else confirm? Anyone? Testing, testing. Does anyone else hear me twice? Okay. Sounds like a you problem, my friend. You might have two tabs open or something. I don't know, bro. All right, so let's jump into it. First of all, welcome to all of our new members. I am Trader Mayne. I go by Mayne. I am one of the founding members of Bitcoin Trade Group here, and I've been away. I've been traveling the world, traveling Europe, getting some culture and shit. And I'm back, happy to be back, in the charts with you guys, posting content and crushing it. I see Wawin telling me here that you guys are Scarface gang now. I know Scarface has been on a roll. He's been crushing it because he's alleged that's what he does. But let's remember, I left Canada on June 7th, and Bitcoin went up 86% while I was away. So, you're welcome. My sacrifice was not in vain. Honestly, it's a lesson in, looking at the charts less and focusing on the high time frame just simply by, I literally just bought, I opened a long, low leverage here, and I bought back any spot that I'd sold on the way up right before I left, and I rode this bitch up for almost 100% gain. And I would check the charts like once a day. It was awesome. So, you're welcome. Hopefully, fuck, that's a good beer. Hopefully some of you guys made some money. I know I only was able to post like one trade, but it was like $1,000 move. I longed like 9K. But I know Scarface and Mr. TA have been taking care of you guys, and who can complain? I mean, Bitcoin dumped 13% today, and it's still at 12 grand. I mean, life is fucking good, right, fam? So I've been in a great mood, the last few months because, those that have been following me long enough, especially in this group, know I've been preaching just over the last several months just to get some exposure to Bitcoin that, even at 6K, it was still cheap. And even at, 7, 8K, still cheap. And here we are. Everyone is flipped bearish. We dumped 12% or something in the last 2 days, and we're at 12K. So life is good, man. Life is good if you are owning Bitcoin right now. Unless you bought it at 13,800, then life maybe not so great. But I don't think any of you guys did that. So I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to get back in the charts and posting some fucking banger trades for you guys. And I'm happy that we're gonna continue to ride this bull trend. All the way through all-time highs and beyond over the next, 6 to 18 months. I find it crazy to think that we'll see all-time highs again this year, broken this year, but I think it is a possibility. I mean, there's a chance we could dump and range for a while, but, I honestly think all-time high before the end of 2019 is not completely out of the question. 20K is not that far away. 20K is about as far away as 5K. Which is crazy because 5K just sounds more reasonable. And I know how many people would be like, oh yeah, dump to 5K, high or low, and then let's go. It's like, well, same amount of distance and we're at 20K all of a sudden. So funny how your perspective changes as the price of Bitcoin changes. But I'm hoping everyone has made some money over the last several months, a couple months, and everyone's happy. Everyone owns some Bitcoin, sub 10K or lower, and we're Gucci. So I figure I haven't done a stream in obviously or anything in a month. I'm a little rusty. I haven't been looking at the charts too much. It's been actually a very nice break for me to get away and go explore Europe. I met some crypto guys. I met some of you in the group actually while I was traveling as well. So shout out to all of those who I met up with. I appreciate you. And I love Europe, all you Europeans. That was my first time in Europe. I'd been in Greece when I was like 19, but that was my first time doing actual Europe, and you guys got a pretty cool continent over there. I really liked Barcelona. I really liked London. I could live in London. Loved Croatia. Loved Slovenia. Bosnia was cool. So pretty cool trip. Had a lot of fun, but happy to be back. Into my groove. So since I'm feeling a little rusty and I haven't done one of these in a while, I thought what better thing to do than let's mark up just a fresh chart from top down on Bitcoin and just kind of see, where we're at, my important levels, what I think is going to happen, and, we'll take it from there. So if you guys got any questions, leave them in the box here. And I will make sure to check periodically throughout the video here and answer any questions you may have. I know Wawin specifically asked if I could cover fiber. Yeah, so I'll take a quick look at fiber. And I'll answer Tomster's question. And if you guys got any questions, not Wawin, sorry, Bromigo, my bad. Alessandro, good to see you, man. It's been a while. Italy is on the list. The reason I didn't go to Italy this time is because A, I heard it's very expensive, and I already dropped way too much money on this fucking trip. And B, my understanding is that it's very romantic, and I was traveling with like a homie of mine, so I thought it'd be kind of weird if me and my platonic man friend were, getting fucking shuttled down the canal with some dude singing to me in fucking Italian. So, but it's on the list. I mean, I've heard great things about Italy, but maybe with a girl. So, here's my chart with levels already, and then we'll go through and, we'll draw up a new one, and we can kind of go from there. So obviously, I mean, the fucking weekly chart is just retarded. There's no other way to put it. I mean, this is when I left, and I was like, this move could have topped. I thought it topped here, and then boom, it's another rocket ship. So to me, this doesn't look like it's going to stop. regardless of how far we dip, whether it's to here, whether it's to here, you know, I personally don't see it going below this weekly block. I really don't. I'd be amazed if it went below there. I think that would be fucked. Just based on, because we've literally done 80% from here. So for us to correct down to here is nuts. You know what I mean? Like for us to correct from here down to here, come on, don't do this to me. For us to correct here, just to here is 40%, right? Everyone's talking about a 40% correction. 40% correction, we're still at 8K for fuck's sakes. So, you know, whatever this dip happens, if it's this is it, if it's going to go deeper, I think any dip is super bullish. But my thoughts were kind of this, right? So that weekly level, weekly bigly buy here, that's this, okay? So any dip to there, I'm buying full fucking force as much as I can, selling a kidney, going all in, and your stop goes at like 7K. I just don't see us going below there though. More realistically, I could see us come back into here, right? This is that high before this dump. If you remember, I took a short down to here, didn't quite get a close because it came here, but you know, this is obviously we consolidated here for a while. You know, there's your move up, there's your pullback, there's another extension. So this is kind of the origin of this last leg, is just this area here. So this would be support if we lose this area, and then the gray is derived from the 12-hour, right? So we dipped below, but we regained it. You know, nice long opportunity there. Obviously, this 12-hour is another block of interest for me, so kind of sandwiched between two levels here. I wouldn't be surprised if we range here for a while or something like that before we make another decisive move. But, you know, I think realistically, if we do get below this level here, I think I would look to long here. No brainer. I think otherwise, if you're not long from this dip here, I think any sort of regaining of 11.2 or 12.2, I think is a good long. But these are kind of the levels I'm working with right now. Not going to really zoom in further in the 4-hour anymore. I just, every time I zoom in past the 4-hour, I tend to get fucking stopped out. So I am good at trading higher time frame charts, and anytime I kind of get away from that, I end up just fucking myself. So it's like, why bother? And longs have been the move since April. Like since here, I've taken, I don't even know, 10, 12 trades of or longs, excuse me. I've probably gotten like 80 to 90% of those right, and a lot of the majority of those have been in the room here. I longed like 3,800 for $1,000 move. I longed 5K for like a $2,000 move. I longed 6K for 1,000. Like nailed it. Every time I've shorted, I've gotten wrong. I don't think I've gotten one short right in this entire move up. So the trend is your friend is not a meme. Anyways, let's close this. Again, you're welcome. I left here, okay? And I returned on the 7th of July. So if we just go date to date, not bad, but you know, at one point I was in Ibiza when we made this spike, and I was on some extracurricular substances and euphoria. I couldn't tell if the euphoria was from the ecstasy or from the fucking price of Bitcoin. It's probably a little bit of both, but that should have been a sell signal. Anyways, let's mark this chart up and see what we got here. So a few good things to look at here as I try and remind myself how to use TradingView. So if I pull this to here, right? So this is the all-time high to the low of the bear market. We're just crossing the fucking mid-range here, right? So, I mean, if you're just a range trader, right? Bottom of the range, if we can hold the mid-range, 11.6, and you're going to find when I zoom in and mark up more levels, you're going to see 11.6 is actually quite a clear level. But, you know, the logic is, you know, maybe we have a dip below, but if we can reclaim mid-range, what's next? You go to range high, right? So, you know, just from that alone, you know, to me, super bullish. If you want to look at it that way. Other people I've seen have used this as the range, like 6K, right? just a deviation. Even then, right, we're testing mid-range now. Maybe we have a pullback, but if we get above mid-range here, range high is coming soon. So something to watch for sure. On the weekly chart, the only level I really care about are these ones here. Okay, this is the 2018 yearly open. Okay, this is also a bearish order block, right? I'm not going to leave it on there because there'll be too much, but 2018 yearly open and the open price of a bearish order block. So let's just write that in there. YO yearly open, okay? And open, and I'll just say weekly bearish OB, negative for bearish, okay? So that's obviously, sorry, one sec. Sorry, my girlfriend's just texting me some dumb shit. It's my birthday tomorrow. I'm turning 29. So we're going out for dinner, and I'm going to like a fancy steakhouse. And I'm just like, hey, you gotta wear a dress. And like, she works at like a nice restaurant, so she has all these like little black dresses. I'm like, any of those are fine. She's like, I guess I just need to buy something. I'm like, fucking, you dumb bitch. You don't need to buy something. I don't know. Fucking girls. Maybe I should make generalizations, but she is so fucking bad with money. It is unfucking believable. Thanks, Jose. So yeah, so 2018 yearly open, weekly bearish OB. Okay, key level there. Arguably another key level here, right? Another OB that we've now looked like we're flipping, right? Looks like we're flipping this level. So just that alone, right? 11,490. If we can stay above there on a closing basis on the weekly, that looks pretty good, right? And if you look at the low or the open on the weekly candle, right, is 11,475. So I mean, 15 bucks difference. Well, on the weekly chart, that's immaterial to me. But if the weekly closes red, I think that's a bearish sign, and we're going to see a deeper pullback. Okay, but otherwise, you know, if we close the week green, we hold above 11,490. I actually like our chances of going up, and you know, really, we could range between these two levels for some time. But as soon as we regain this level, if it happens like this, right, or if it takes some time, right? But if as soon as we or shit, if we come down here and then here and then here. As soon as we regain this level, we're going to see a new all-time high on Bitcoin. I don't see anything stopping us. We have that 16K level. Everyone's talking about 16K. Well, where does 16K come from? This is the bottom of the OB. There's the top of it, right? There's the top of that bearish OB. That's where that 16K comes from. I know I posted about 16K, so that's where I get that level. And really, this order block is kind of the last, you know, the last resistance before 20K. So interesting here, and this is just for fun here. But if I look at how close that is, right? So 3 different support levels, right? I just marked 3 support levels. Look at how perfectly that works as a range, almost identical, right? What's the difference here between the EQ? Is there a difference? I don't think there is. Literally bang on the exact same level, isn't it? Let me see if I zoom in. Oh, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. I can't see the fucking thing. Basically bang on. You guys get what I'm trying to say here. So, right, these levels obviously to me, very important levels here, right? Key SR flip here. Basically the last bearish order block before all-time high. we've essentially entered a new range in my opinion, right? This is a new range. So we're at the range low, you know, a retest of the mid-range. Do we dip below the range low again? We'll see. But these are the only levels I'm really interested in on the weekly chart. Okay, key SR flip here. And this level is in line with what? Closing the weekly red. If we lose this level, we'll likely close the weekly red, which to me is short-term bearish for a deeper pullback. Let's go down to the 3-day. I could mark this. Oh, and sorry, I want to mark this on the weekly as well. This is our go all the fuck in zone. If we get down here, okay, if we get down here, and I'll mark it with a level, right? If we get down here, I'm going to make it green just because. No, that's hideous. I got to go back to gray. I'm sorry. All the fuck in stop at 7K. Okay? That's all my levels of interest from the weekly here. Does it make sense how I got all these levels and why I'm interested in them? Because what you'll see is I mark levels that I think price will have an interaction at, and I mark levels that are close to price. Obviously, we're not close to price here, but this is a key level if we do pull back, so I want to know where that is. To me, key SR flip here, I want to know. Key level here, we could reject off here again, so this could be an area to look for shorts, or it could be an area to look for longs on a reclaim, right? So key level where I would look for a trade. You only need to look for trades at key levels. If I'm trading off the weekly chart, you know, I'm not going to look at any price in between any of these levels I don't care about, right? That's how you can remove stress from your trading is trades happen at key levels, mark the key levels, and don't worry about price until it's at one of your key levels. If you're in a long right now, based on this SR flip, you don't need to look at price until it's either back here or until it's here, okay? If you're flat, you don't need to look for a trade until it's here or here, right? Because you're either going to look for a short here, or if it breaks and reclaims, you're going to look for a long, or you're going to, if it's going to pull back here, you're going to look for a long here, okay? Keep it simple, right? Don't overthink it. Trades happen at key levels. So if you have your key levels marked on whatever your time frame of choice is, don't worry about price when it's in between the levels. It's just noise. Everyone's still following along here? So let's zoom in here. I don't really need to mark anything on the 3-day. We've kind of captured all the price action I care about. You know, we've got that weekly block here. This is not a weekly, I mean, technically this is a 3-day order block. I'm not marking it as a 3-day order block because I want to see a push away above this high for it to be valid. But technically, you know, you could mark this as a 3-day order block, but we've got this SR level basically going right through the middle of it. So no need to mark in my opinion. Okay, the daily chart here. Again, don't really have any levels of interest here that I'm going to mark. Nothing I think is relevant that we haven't already marked. So we're going to move down to the 12-hour. I like this level. No, that's a lie. There is one level on the daily I like. This here. Okay, this order block that led to that up move. I like this area here. So I marked this on my other chart, I believe. But, you know, you can mark this area. This is an area of interest to me. Right? But, I mean, again, this is so close to here where I think if we come down here, we're going to see here anyways. So it's not super relevant. This is more relevant to me, but still worth marking. Again, we don't want to cloud our charts. The problem is with new traders is you see this, right? You see, right? Oh, well, look at all the, you know, it's like, well, how do you make any decisions based on this, right? Unless you're scalping, what the fuck are you doing with all these lines? Like, you know, there's some traders, like I love Gainsy, Crypto Gains on Twitter. I love him. Talk to him all the time. But he has so many fucking lines on his chart, and what works for him, that's his edge, right? If it works for him, he has all of these diagonals, all of these horizontals, and he's making decisions off of that. You know, Cash is another guy who has all of those, like Chusov, whatever you want to call them, forks and diagonals mixed with lines, and Loom's got. To me, less is more, right? If I have too many fucking lines on my chart, I can't make a decision. Even on this chart, right? Here, I gotta get rid of some of these to. Even here, these levels are so close to each other relative to the high time frame, right? It's almost like, well, do I want to look for a long here, or would I rather just wait till we get down here? But less is more, right? I want to know where are my key levels. That's where I'm going to look for trades. You know, if there's any sort of noise in between, I'm not paying attention. So on the 12 hour, I've got this consolidation here. And you'll see, for those wondering, yes, I have marked both of these candles, and I'm calling it a order block because technically on the daily, you know, it's two 12-hour candles. It should be a daily, but one of those 12-hour candles is here, and one of them's here, I believe, or one is here and one is here. That's why it's not showing up on the daily, but you see the consolidation that I like here. This consolidation led to this move, support, right? We got under, but this is, there you go, right? That's kind of your classic over-under, right? Support, break, reclaim, boom. Inverse head and shoulders, over-under, Quasimodo, all the same shit. So key level of interest for me, right? This is support. So these are the levels that I'm looking at, right? These are my levels of interest. So right now, Bitcoin, it's kind of in a no trade zone for me. You know, oh, and I have this, right? So this is the bearish order block here. Oh no, what have I done? For those of you that are new, I don't know how to use TradingView. Right, so I have this level here as well, which could be a reclaim happening, but not looking so hot right now. So we did close this 12-hour candle within the zone. The bullish case is that this next 12-hour candle also closes within the zone, right? That's going to be the bullish case. If we close a 12-hour candle below here, I would be looking to short any sort of pullback. And that might have already happened, right? So it doesn't always work perfectly, because if you look at the 1 hour, for example, right, it already looks like we broke, retested, dump, right? But I'm focusing on the 12-hour. If it's a 12-hour zone, and this answers our question here, if I'm talking about a 12-hour level or a 12-hour zone, I'm looking at a 12-hour candle, right? If it's a daily level, daily zone, I'm looking at the daily candle, and that's true for all time frames. It's not always going to work perfectly. Like, we could close the 12-hour in here and close the next one in here and still dump, right? But as a rule of thumb, that's how I do it, and more often than not, it serves me very well. So for now, you know, I would like to see price close back within this 12-hour block here for upside. If we can get back above it, the equilibrium here is about 12.2. If we can get back above there, I think you open a long no-brainer, and your stop goes here, and you target here, right? So imagine don't imagine, I'll just do it, right? So imagine we regain the equilibrium, right? Let's say we have a bullish next, you know, several hours here. We regain the equilibrium. You can have a long to here, you know, that's a nice 2.5R, and that's with your stop down here. I mean, a more conservative, a more risky stop is below this wick, right? An even riskier stop would be right below the order block, right? Like, we get above here. To me, it's like, why wouldn't you take that trade? Even with the loose stop, still 2.5. Tighter stop, 3.9. Retardedly tight stop, you know, you're looking at double-digit R. I would not put, it's 12-hour zone, I would not put my stop here. I would put it at the tightest would be at the body of this candle, but this candle hasn't closed yet, so I still want to see where this candle closes. But if this candle closes bullishly and this wick is in place, that's where I'd put my stop. Right? So that would be a bullish close. Candle closes back within the zone. We regain there. That's how I would play that. Alternatively, What is going on here? Oops, let's leave that on though. Alternatively, let's say we close the 12-hour below here. Any sort of pullback, I would be looking to short. I would zoom in onto like the H4 or probably the H4. And if we close down here, any sort of move back into this gray, I would look to short. Okay, that's how I would play that. You know, on the H4, it's looking like we want to go down more right now. The H1 looks slightly better, right? Looks like a low, a high, and potentially a higher low forming, but I don't like it. You know, I marked this level here. I'm starting to get into the nitty gritty and too low of a time frame. That's why I'm not trading any of this shit. But you know, you could say this is important SR here, but I mean, now we have two levels that are so close. It's like, unless you're scalping, what the fuck is the point, right? But to me, if we lose this, I think we will go to here. So, you know, there's a couple options for you in terms of what I think is going to happen. The bearish case, obviously, we close the 12-hour below here. You're looking to sell any sort of move up, okay? If we lose this cluster here, right, on a H4 level, if we close below there on the H4, so let's say if we close below 11.7, right, or 11.750 on the H4, I think you could look for a short back into this area. Like we dip down here, fill in this wick. Any sort of pullback I think is shortable. Look for a potential bounce here, you know, break down into here, and this is an area that you look for a long high time frame support, right? Because relatively, right, let's say we break down here. We have a low, a high. This could be a higher low. Like I know this is a lower high relative to there, but this is a 12-hour move, right? You could have something like this form. And then that would be a higher high. And what would that look like on the high time frame? Well, it would just look like a low and then a boom. So, you know, everything is relative, but that's something I could see happen. You know, some sort of breakdown into this area and then a long after a higher low. See how many times I got to click to get my shit back. A lot, apparently a lot. Oh my God. There has to be a better way. Okay. Worst case Ontario, you know, we have our boom, boom, lower high here, right? Like especially on the daily, right? That's a lower high. You know, that would be worst case scenario. If this happens, any sort of move back into the 10.8, right? Like if this is a lower high being priced in, any sort of, once we break down here, any sort of pullback you sell the fuck out of, because I think if we lose this H12 block, like this 10.8 level, I think we easily drop at least another $1,000. So you don't need to short here, right? Like obviously it'd be nice to short here, right? But if you want confirmation, if this comes down like this is a high probability sell here, and you easily are going to catch a $1,000 move to the downside. So if you guys remember, I posted on Twitter and I posted here as well, you know, why I was leaning bearish. And we unfortunately didn't get the situation right. This is that exact setup I just showed you. Obviously we spiked up here, but you know, breakdown of that 10 level, we're dropping further. But this was my thoughts on the H4, right? Obviously we made a higher high here, but to me, you know, this idea is not completely wrong yet. It's just I was too zoomed in, right? Like on the H4, I'm fucked, but on the daily, it looks like we're putting in a high, a low, and a lower high. So my problem here was when we pumped, you know, obviously we went to 13K, but it was Tuesday, right? That could have been the high of the week being placed in there. There's your bearish market structure shift, right? So even on the H4, right? There's your low, there's your lower high. Not this one, but it's tough to say. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I was wrong on that. So no worries, right? So those are kind of my scenarios right now, I'm thinking, right? I really wouldn't want to get in a long unless we either reclaim this, okay, or down here, okay? You could look for a long here. I think this is higher risk, but you could look for a long here. So that would be my 3 long scenarios, and I hope they're very clear, okay? A reclaim of this block here, so a reclaim of 12.2. If we can get back above 12.2 and start closing a couple 4-hour candles over there, or better yet, a 12-hour candle, I would look for a long with my stop either here or tighter, okay? To me, that means this is just a fake out. And if we reclaim this, I see us going to like 16K. That's long number 1, okay? Let's say we continue to break down. Son of a fucking bitch. How is this possible? It has to like undo all of the scrolling. It's ridiculous. So long number 2, we continue to dump here. I think you could look for a long here, relatively tight stop, right? What do you want to see? You want to see a bounce, higher low, right? You either long that with your stop there, or you want to see what? A bounce, you know, and then a break here, retest, get on board that way, right? Get on board there, stop here, okay? Or you want to see some sort of over-under form, right? You want to see like something like this, right? We go, you want to see something like this. We bounce here, break, right? This is the classic Mayne, low, lower low, higher low. Back above, that's your buy, right? The reclaimed SR, your stop is defined there. So I think this is another area you could look for a long. If we continue to dump here, I would look for a long here. If we reclaim this, I would look for a long here. Lastly, if we just dump straight through, I would look for a long here, okay? I am in a bullish mindset. Like I said, I've been nailing longs out of the park. I've been getting fucked on shorts. So I'm not going to take any of the shorts I'm about to show you, but all of these would be valid, and if you choose to take them, by all means, that is up to you. But to me, we're in a high time frame bull trend, so I'm more interested in longs. I think longing here, or even down here, is a higher probability move. The only short I would seriously consider is the 10.8 breakdown. I'll go over that obviously in a sec here. But for me, I'm more interested in longing a dip than I am trying to short. But I'm going to show you what I think anyways. If we close a 12-hour candle, which will be happening in about 4.5 hours. In 4.5 hours, so not this H4, but the next H4, or 5.5 hours, sorry. 5.5 hours from now, so if not this H4, but if the next H4 candle after this one, which would be the 12-hour candle, because it would be 1, 2, 3, if it closes below here, any sort of pullback in here, I think, is a sell, okay? So let's assume this candle closes, and then we have another H4 candle, and it closes like down here. So ugly. Let's say, what the fuck? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Let's say we have another, what? Why can't I draw like a fucking thing? Here we go, okay. Let's say the next H4 candle closes down here as well, okay? Now I'm in short the bounce mode. Any sort of move up into here, you want to short. How do you do it, right? Same fucking shit. Maybe you have a boom. There's your lower high forming. You wait for the breakdown of the lower low, right? There's your sell. High, lower high. We break the low that caused the lower high. There's your sell. More aggressive sell, right, is when we form the high, right? And then we form a low. What do you look for? You look for the bearish order block that formed this low. You sell into that, right? Confirmation obviously is when the low snaps. Lastly, some sort of over-under pattern, right? You see it bounce, you see it bounce up, you see a reclaim, right? There's your over-under. So that's 3 ways to enter. Obviously, you got to determine what time frame you're trading it on, and then watch price action when it gets there. As you guys know, or those of you who have been here long enough, I don't oh, come on, Joel. Jesus Christ, they're loud outside right now. Um, as you guys know, I don't really like to enter on limit orders for the most part. I enter live, I set alerts, but you monitor price action. I'll be watching for you guys, right? Like if any of these scenarios start to form, tag me in the chat. We'll pull up the charts and we'll look to show you how you can enter. But again, I'm not really interested in shorting. I'm more interested in the longs. But that's opportunity number one, right? So the next 4-hour candle after this closes below here, you look to short into this move here, okay? And again, it could come higher. We could close here, okay? And then we could bounce up here and then come down, right? I care about where the candle closes because at the end of the day, the move up here and then the breakdown could end up just being a wick, right? This could all be a wick on the 12-hour candle and then we could dump. So we could come higher, but if we close the next H4 candle after this one or the H12 below this gray, I think any sort of bounce, any sort of pullback is shortable. Alternatively, you could look for a short here, a breakdown of this level. You could look for a short. But to me, the money short is either up here, right? Any sort of pullback after the close, that's a money short, or the breakdown of this level. If we lose this level, to me, it's like automatic. We're going another $1,000 down for sure. So a lose of this level for sure. That's a bigly short. This is a short I would probably take. And if we lose this 10.8 level, I would probably cut. If I had some longs open or if you guys were in longs, I'd probably suggest cutting them because I think for sure it's going to get, because really this is a range, right? You got to remember, this, I'm going to just be pissed off in a second when I have to delete all this. This is just a range, right? Really. But if we lose the 10.8 level, we've lost the range, and I think we're going to go deeper. So I think you'd want to probably cut longs below that level there. So that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin right now. That's a few scenarios that I think are potentially going to happen. The volatility has been crazy. So, you day traders and scalpers up there, this is a dream. We're having 10, 20% swings every day, hundreds of dollars bounces, at any given moment. So let's open the floor to some questions here. SC. With BTC, would you always wait for a retrace for an entry? When would you enter based on a close you're looking for? So one way to enter trades, and I did a video on this, I don't remember when. I think it might have been a public video. But let's say your level to buy is here, okay? So you say, hey, if we get through this level here, I'm a buyer. So whatever your resistance level is, this usually doesn't work as well with order blocks as it does with SR. And if you look at a guy on Twitter, XC, he does this a lot. He trades just level to level, and if a level breaks, he enters a trade. I prefer to enter like this, right? Level broke, retest, this is my preferred entry. But a completely fine way to do it, this is a daily level, and you're like, okay, if we close the daily through here, I'm a buyer. As soon as we close the daily through your level, you can enter the trade at market, right? Or, better yet, set a limit order and get it filled because you don't want to pay the market fee. And then your stop goes below the candle that broke the level, right? So if you're saying, hey, if we close through here, I'm bullish. As soon as we close through there, you long it, okay? And your stop goes below the candle that led to the breakout. And that goes for any time frame, okay? It doesn't have to be on the daily, right? Like if you're trading on the, the low time frame, doesn't matter, right? So let's say if this level, where can I go here where there's not shit already, right? Simple here, okay? You say, hey, if we close through here, okay, I'm going to long it. This is my resistance level. If we close through, I'm going to long it. Well, where's the 15-minute candle that closed through? Right here. There's your close through. You enter the trade, and your stop goes below the candle, and there's your long, right? You're in the trade. You caught the move, and I don't think you get stopped out. I mean, obviously, this is a wicked uptrend, so it would be hard to get stopped out. Let's see if we can find something in the downtrend here. Okay, so let's say you are a seller for whatever reason. You're a seller, okay? And you're like, hey, if we lose this level here, right? And this is going to look bad initially, but I mean, that's probably a terrible example, but it works. I mean, I'll show it to you anyways, just because I picked it. So you're like, hey, if we close through here, I'm getting out or I'm selling, right? Well, what do? Here, we close through here on a huge candle. Obviously, the ideal sell is here, right? But you could sell this with your stop here, and your entry sucks, right? But as you can see, it dumps much further down. So as much as this entry sucks, right? Like if your entry is way down here, this is shitty, right? But where are you targeting if you sell? Well, you're targeting at least these lows, right? And then ultimately, your target too would be these lows down here. So I mean, it's not a great trade. This is obviously an impulse move, so it's a bad example. But even so, this trade goes to target, and or almost goes to target, and you don't get stopped out. See if I can find a better example here. So you are saying this is your support, okay? When price closes through here, you sell. Price closes through here on this level here. So there's your sell. Your stop goes above the candle, right? And where are you targeting? Well, you're targeting some lows over here, right? So that one would have worked out. So you can enter that way as well. Again, if you're a longer, exact opposite. This is my SR level, right? Resistance, resistance. Soon as we close through here, I want a long. There's your candle that closes through. Stop goes below the candle that led to the breakout. Where do you target? Old highs, right? Old highs, old highs. That one worked out as well. Does that make sense, bro? Has anyone got any questions, anything like that? We're coming up on the 50-minute mark here. Yeah, so I mean, you got to be fluid, right? You're not always going to get that perfect retest. You're not always going to get that, entry that you want. I do believe, though, what you'll see is you'll get the entry you want more often than not if you're patient, right? Like some people might have wanted to, let's say this is your level here, and you want to retest, right? So let's say you're like, okay, break of this level, I'm buying a retest of this level, and you're like, oh shit, it's going away. But if you're patient, boom, there's your retest, there's another retest, and now it really launches, right? So you will often get a retest if you're patient, and if you wait. You won't always, but you will a lot of the time get that retest that you want. It's just a matter of time. A very common thing in price is, a top, right, becomes a bottom. So you don't get that perfect retest there, but it's pretty damn close. Like if I said I'm buying a retest of this level and I'm watching price here, I'm market buying here. Because it's so goddamn close to my level, I'm buying. I just want to get in. My stop is down here anyways. So there's a level of fluidity to it that comes with just doing it and watching price and seeing it, but you got to determine how you like to trade. You can do both, but I personally, my edge has been waiting for the breakout and the retest of either a previous high, right? My go-to entries are very simple, okay? Bullish order block, retest, enter here. That's my setup number one. Okay. Setup number 2 is a retest of the old high. Break in market structure, retest. That's my second favorite setup. That's my second entry technique. My third one is the over-under. I call it the Mayne low, lower low, higher low, or high, higher high, lower high. The UB retest, the Quasimodo, the over-under. It's all the same fucking shit. Come into a support level, bounce, run the level, regain the level. And what you'll have here are 2 types of entries. What will happen here is, first of all, we have a bullish, you'll usually have a bullish order block here. But it's Quasimodo, it's a regain level, but there will usually be a bullish order block here that caused this move, boom. Again, then you have also the break in market structure. You could also wait for this. That's how I enter trades. Those 3 methods, flip those upside down for shorts. Those are my 3 main techniques. But the candle close thing, right? Candle closes through, you buy it, stop goes there. Maybe it doesn't retest the level and it just goes and you got in and I didn't. You gotta live with not getting in every time, right? Part of trading is realizing that it's not always gonna work perfectly every time. And it's not always gonna fucking give you the entry you want. You're gonna miss trades. Shit fucking happens. But if you have rules, then if it doesn't hit all your rules, you don't take the trade. And if it does hit all your rules, you take the trade, right? And that allows you to discern between trades you're gonna take and trades you're gonna not. If you're just entering haphazardly without a system in place, you're gonna get burned more often than not. Anyone else got any questions? I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm gonna cut this video here. Oh, I gotta check. The fiber for the boy. For the boy Bromigo. GBP USD. It's so funny. Bromigo was saying that my sell model for Euro USD is still happening on the weekly, but so the fiber is the nickname for GBP USD. The cable. Sorry, I got this backward. The cable is GBP USD. Fiber is Euro USD. So I don't even know what I got going on here. So he says he agrees with Scarface, but he wants to see what I think. I'm high time frame bearish on this pair, for anyone that's wondering. So, Bromigo, what up, my guy? Take a quick look at the fiber. I feel like I'm 100% in agreement with Scarface. I'm hoping for a fresh look from the guy whose market maker sell model is pretty much still in play on the weekly from way back when. So let's see what Scarface is saying. He loves the Swissy. Excuse me. Yeah, so USD dropping, the DXY, right, because there's a correlation, the dollar index and the euro, and the DXY dropping, right, would be bullish for the euro. I mean, you're going to do me like that? You're going to do me like that, Trading View? All right, so I'm bullish above that line, right? Look at that. That's a weekly order block open, right? So the open of this weekly order block, notice how the nice reaction we're getting so far, right? And then here's your daily, right? Down candle for the up move, broke market structure, confluent with a weekly level. So this looks good to me for more upside, right? So for me, if I were to trade this, this is going to be the key level for me. Okay, so I mean, I'm just looking high time frame here. I'm not going to go below the daily. It's either going to go like this, right? And then probably like this. If it regains here, that's where I would get long. Okay, a regain of this level, that's where I would get long. I would also be hesitant, you know, but this looks good, right? The daily low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? So if you're not long from down here, I wouldn't long it yet. I would wait for a reclaim of this level. If we can reclaim this kind of 1.27 area, I think we're going to take out, we'll have a nice potential up move here. Right, you got to be careful. Look, this is almost a dead-on fractal to right here, right? So here we had a low, a high, a higher low, right? Low, high, higher low. We came up to this order block here, and we rejected hard. Basically exactly what we see here. Low, boom, boom. The second leg made it to this order block, died. Look at this. Low, high, higher low. This is your decision point. It's like a dead-on fractal to me. Looks the exact same. So this is the key area for me. I wouldn't be taking the trade until we got here. My bias, based on the daily chart, would be bullish. So I would be looking for us to reclaim this level, and I would be looking to enter a long. That's going to be kind of your, it's either like this, or it's like that. So that's where I would be looking. This is where I would be watching there, Bromigo. This is the key level. We get above there, I think you open a fucking long. Anyone else got any questions, anything like that? Thanks, Chosen Coin. Appreciate it, man. Happy to have you. Thank you, Jose. Some new faces. So yeah, super excited to you know, get back to posting regularly for you guys. It's going to be an awesome remainder of the year. I will probably not be super active tomorrow. It's my birthday, so I'm going to be you know, going out for dinner, hanging out with my family and stuff like that. But otherwise, I'll get back to my regular kind of multiple streams a week schedule here. I do have about 12 new bite-sized videos to upload, so I'll look to get those going over the next couple days. I'll get those up on the website. I'll ping you guys once they're up there, and then I got a bunch of other stuff that's in the works. My plan for the next 6 months actually is to completely redo all of my educational videos in a more structured way, and my goal is to make a course kind of thing where it's like, I don't know how many videos it's going to be, but it's going to be like start to finish. Like, here's how I mark up charts, here's why, here's how I monitor levels, here's how I enter trades at those levels, and here's how I manage those trades, you know, and actually enter and manage the trades once I'm in a trade, and then here's how I take profit. Like, it's going to be like a beginning to end of my entire fucking style and my edge. And, you know, I'll do my best to try and make it concise, because the way I've done videos so far, for those of you that have been around, they're just kind of all over the place, and I record something and I think of something and I explain it, and I could do probably an entire video on my entry techniques, but I just was like, oh hey, let's talk about this now. So I'm going to try and do something that's a little more structured, where someone who doesn't know anything about how I can trade, or already has their own notions, can watch it from start to finish and know what the fuck to do without having to say, hey, what's an order block? Why'd you mark this level, right? My goal is to make something that is complete, and someone can watch start to finish and be like, all right, I got it. So yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, glad to hear you are liking it, The Chosen Coin. All right, guys, happy to be back. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I will talk to you all tomorrow and through the coming days. And yeah, signing off.